This is a part of our human experience. So there's nothing wrong with you. Nothing has gone wrong. That fear is normal. Like there's a reason for it, but it doesn't mean stop.
Y'all, today's show is so good.
But number one, I've never seen an intro like that.
It is my hope and desire that not only will episode 30 still be fun, but episode 300 will be even more fun. You were made for something great, so go and be awesome.
Ten seconds remaining.
Welcome to the show. My name is Renee Hastings, and I'm your host of Renee Speaks. Y'all, today's show is going to be so good, and that's partly because of our amazing sponsor, Executive Help Now. Executive Help Now is your premier virtual assistant service agency. At Executive Help Now, we're all about simplifying your business so you can focus on what really matters. From streamlining operations to managing administrative tasks and keeping everything organized, our team is here to help you thrive. If you're ready to make your life a little bit easier, hit us up at www.executivehelpnow.org. Y'all, today's guest is Trista Guertin, and she is a master coach and personal development expert dedicated to helping women in midlife break free from feeling stuck and overwhelmed. With over 20 years of leadership experience, Trista combines her expertise and a deep passion for empowering women to create meaningful change. As the creator of the Unstuck program, a transformational 12-week coaching journey, Trista guides women to build better relationships with themselves and uncover their true potential and achieve lasting results. Known for her compassionate yet no-nonsense approach, she helps her clients gain clarity, develop self-trust, and build the confidence to reclaim their energy, set healthy boundaries, and step boldly into the lives they truly desire. Y'all, put your hands together for Trista Guertin. Hello.
Hi, thank you. That's a lovely introduction.
Awesome. Well, you are a lovely person, and I am so excited that you are here with us today. Because as business owners, I'm sure that you've come across hundreds, if not thousands of people, women who may have had started this journey but still never truly felt confident in it, or maybe felt like imposters, or maybe felt like they had to always say yes in order to be accepted. And all of these things that we make up in our heads that we are supposed to do. I put supposed to in air quotes because supposed to was like fighting words to my mother. So why don't you tell us, Trista, what led you to become a master coach to help women get unstuck and to create the Unstuck program?
Well, okay. Well, thank you so much for having me today. It's an honor to be here. And yeah, so, I started my coaching journey about 5.5, 6 years ago and found the tools and the skills to be so powerful and so helpful for myself. And then when COVID hit, I decided I would become a coach. And to be honest, I decided I would take the certification program and see what happens. Now, part of it was it involved a practicum, so we had to coach everybody or get certain number of hours in. And I started coaching all my friends and all my relatives and everybody I knew. And then I was listening to other women being coached. I was being coached myself. And one of the recurring themes that I kept hearing was that somehow the woman, like the client, was wrong. Like she felt like she was doing something wrong, or there was something wrong with her. Somehow she wasn't good enough. And I was hearing this in one way or the other over and over and over again. Every woman presented with some sort of flavor of this. And I just thought, this can't be right. Like, we just can't all be wrong. And so I really started to dig into like what's going on with our brain and how have we been socialized and programmed that all of this comes up, and how can we use these tools and skills that were so powerful and so helpful to help us to overcome ourselves. And like you said, imposter syndrome, there's like all this doubt and overwhelm and self-confidence issues, and whether that's in business, but it really affects us in every single area of our lives and every relationship. And so I knew that with this coaching, I had the ability to help other women, and that's what I'm doing. I'm helping as many women as possible get coached and get over all that crappy thinking.
Yes. And we are so grateful to you for that, that you took the time to become not only aware, but knowledgeable about what it takes to fix it. So I'm so grateful to you for that, because I know I'm not alone as a business owner who, I won't even say daily, because every so often these thoughts come into my head and I'm like, okay, am I really doing the right thing? Should I really have made this decision? Should I really have done that thing? Every day it's something. So I just really, I don't struggle with it or sit in it or feel tons of regret or anything like that. It's because I tend to share these things with my friends. So my friends are also business owners, some of them. And so they've been through these things. And so they've been able to help me gain a different perspective or look at things in a different way to help me through whatever thing it is that I'm dealing with at the moment. But they're not coaches. They're just my friends.
Right.
You know? So how is the specialty where you specialize in helping women get unstuck, how is that different from just advice from a friend?
That's a great question. You know, your friends mean well, right? And they will often commiserate with you and say, yes, that's terrible. That shouldn't have, whatever. Or no, don't worry, it'll be fine. And they mean really well, right? But when you're working with a coach, you have this space. And yes, I'm here 100% to support you, but I'm not invested in the outcome. And it's not in your best interest for me to sit here and believe everything you tell me and to just say, yes, that's terrible. That shouldn't have happened. He shouldn't have said that, or that shouldn't have happened, or whatnot. But I want to show you what you're thinking and give you that space to get a little bit more objectivity. And I ask you questions and we have these discussions and we sort of say, look, this is what you're thinking. And this is how it's making you feel. This is, these are the actions that it's driving. And this is ultimately the result that it's creating in your life, right? It's not about right or wrong or good or bad, but it's just like, let's just get some awareness as to what's going on in your brain. And then we can, process some of those emotions, which is really important because we're not taught how to be and allow with our emotions. So I help my clients to understand and learn that process and then move through those. And then we can talk it out and decide together, okay, what do you want to think instead? What do you want to feel? What actions do you ultimately want to take? And what's the result you want to create? And I help you to move forward towards that. So it really is a safe space, but I help you to get some objectivity and some perspective that you may not have had otherwise, if that makes sense.
You. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. I love that. And as you were talking, it made me think about one of, we have such an amazing team of folks, and we have the best clients ever. But there are some times when our clients can sometimes push the boundary, or they might say, expect things of us that aren't a part of the scope, or they're like out of the scope of what we agree to, or just have unrealistic expectations. So what are some things that business owners can do to set boundaries without feeling guilty?
Okay, that's a good one too. Most of us don't, I don't say, I have a different perspective on boundaries, because usually when I talk to clients, they sort of say, well, this person isn't respecting my boundaries, right? Like, we set a boundary and then we expect people not to cross them and to respect them. The thing with boundaries is that we set the boundaries for us. So in this case, it's business. It is a service that we're offering. It is what we are prepared to provide or to assist with. And we need to be clear about what we want and what we don't want. And again, this goes back to, there's no right or wrong, no good or bad, but you decide. So let's say your client is calling you after 6 p.m. and you're like, I don't want any calls after 6 p.m. So you decide that this is a boundary. Now, you have to be the one who's ready to act on that boundary, which means, you can inform your clients, I do not accept phone calls after 6 p.m. Now, you can ask them, please don't call me, but humans are humans, and chances are people will call, whether it's on purpose or by mistake, whatever, but they may call. So then it's up to you to not answer the phone. You're the one who has to respect your own boundary. You're the one who has to act on it, so that if someone's calling you at 6:05, you're not picking up the phone. And you don't have to get upset. You can send them a message, have a reply, or talk to them the next time and just say, just as a reminder, I don't answer calls after 6 p.m. And that's as simple as it can be. You don't need to get into any drama. You don't need to blame. It just humans. You can make those requests, but anybody as an adult may or may not listen and may not adhere to it. And that's okay. That's on them. But you get clear about what's acceptable for you, and then you enforce it. And the guilt, right? The guilt comes from what we're thinking. Somehow thinking that we should be answering the phone, or we should be available, or they may need us and we're not there for them.
Right.
But the thing is, right? And so we have to let that other person, like that client who's calling, like, have their emotions. They may get upset. They may be disappointed. They may be frustrated. And that's okay. They're entitled to feel that way. So let's just let them, right, feel that way. We may be experiencing some discomfort, especially if we have not set boundaries and carried them out before. We may be feeling some discomfort and not answering that phone and not responding. That's okay. You have to learn how to allow that discomfort, allow the client to have whatever emotion that comes up for them, and then redirect your brain. Your brain will be looking for problems, and it will focus to the negativity, and you will think, I should be there. They're not gonna like me. They're gonna quit working with me. They're upset with me, whatever it is, right? And your brain sees this as a problem. That primitive part of our brain sees this as a threat and as a problem, and it's trying to warn us. But nothing has gone wrong here. And what you want to do is just refocus your brain. This is my boundary. This is my time. I've set this. I was clear. I was kind. It's okay. I'm safe. Let's just take a deep breath and just allow everybody to have their emotions. Nothing has gone wrong.
Right. I hear you saying the words and they make perfect sense. But inside I'm going,
right. That's okay. That's okay. Right. That's part of the human experience. Right. Like I said, your brain is seeing this as a threat. And so your nervous system is activated. You're in that fight or flight. Okay, what's the emotion that you're feeling? Just allow it. Just allow yourself to feel it. It's okay. And you will get better. Your nervous system will calm down. I wouldn't say better, but you'll become more accustomed to having this dynamic. It takes
Right.
practice. That's all.
Yeah, because even like I remember, even in the first time I had to do it. So I've been doing this for a while, so I'm pretty okay. But for a friend, I'll just say, I remember when it was just hard to even put the words together to say, I'm not available after 6. Like to string some words together that say that, it was so hard. It was because I felt like you said, they count on me. I'm their person. They need me. And so I would be there for them whenever they called, sacrificing time with my husband, my family, whatever, to accommodate them, because I just felt like if I said no, if I didn't answer the phone, or if I didn't respond to their message, that their life would end up in some kind of shambles. And it's my fault
Right.
because I didn't answer the phone.
Right. Yes. Listen, we have this primitive part of our brain. And my coach used to call it like it's like a toddler with a knife. It
Mhm.
needs to be supervised. It needs to be focused, right? Because basically, back in the days when we were living in caves, we were trying to survive on a day-to-day basis. And
Mhm.
this part of our brain, that's what was responsible for keeping us alive. And so it was looking for danger, it was looking for threats, it was looking for problems in order to warn us and to guide us and somehow keep us alive until tomorrow. Now we have evolved, right? Like now it's not a saber-toothed tiger that's hiding behind the bushes, but it's this client who may be upset with us, or that email that we get from someone, or a comment on social media. Our brain is seeing this as a threat. It has not evolved with us. And so it is defaulting to the negative. It is looking for problems. And it is trying to warn us, basically.
So our brain has not really evolved with us in that space. But one of the other things I was thinking too, Trista, is that this could be an opportunity for us to do some self-reflection and figure out for our own selves, what is it in our own lives that has happened or created this thinking that it's okay for someone to intrude on our time like that, or that we have to accept it, or whatever it looks like, how, in order to stand up for ourselves, like what keeps us from standing up for ourselves.
Right.
So
Right.
I think it's really important to figure that out, because once we're able to figure that out, I think it'll be easier for us to stand up for ourselves and to put the words together that say, this is a boundary. This is what I'm imposing for myself and for my family, and that's what we need. And we appreciate you respecting that, and that sort of thing. And having those conversations come easier and easier.
Mm-hmm. Right. And I think that's really important. I think, first of all, we want to make sure that we're not making ourselves wrong. Like, this is all very normal. And as I said, like, we're not doing anything wrong. There's nothing wrong with us. This makes sense, especially when you think, okay, first of all, again, we go back to that primitive programming because we were tribal. And so we wanted to fit in. We wanted to make sure that we were liked, that we weren't sent away from the group, we weren't ostracized, because that meant death. So it was very important that we fit in, that we don't make any waves, that we're kept, we're liked, we're a part of the group. And then when you think about as well, like some of our socialization and some of our programming, especially as women, we get a lot of messaging about being caregivers, being nice, putting others first, right? So we get this messaging from a lot of places: media, culture, religion, education. All of these things are sort of playing on us since we were born. And then we also look at our caregivers and our parents, who our role models were, what sort of dynamics we had, and sort of how they interacted. And then typically our mothers were the caregivers as well, and taking care of the family and trying to make everybody happy, and doing all the things. And it's not uncommon that obviously we pick up that type of programming too. So it's very normal that we want people to like us and to not make any waves, not make anybody upset. So just having that awareness of there are a lot of dynamics at play here, and that nothing has gone wrong. You're not doing anything wrong. The other thing I really like to tell my clients is that you are 100% worthy. Just being born on the planet is our baseline. You are 100% worthy just because you're here. And we afford everybody that same distinction, that same idea, I guess, if you want to say. Everybody's 100% worthy just because they're a human on the planet. Okay. And then when we start looking at people pleasing, because this is basically what it is, right? People pleasing. We want to keep in mind that, again, we are trying to get that validation. We are trying to get that appreciation. We are trying to get that respect. We are trying to get that recognition and that support. And oftentimes then we do things like we're not honest with ourselves. We're not honest with the other person about what we want, right? If we're setting boundaries, like the calls after 6, we don't want to answer that phone. But we might lie to somebody else and say, no, it's okay, don't worry, just because we don't want to upset them, or we want that recognition, like, wow, you're really great employee or wife or partner or mother or friend or whoever it is, right? But we have to understand that getting that external validation is not going to work in the long run. And it's basically just a hamster wheel. We kept running and running and running, trying to get this without ever really filling that hole or that need in us. And so we want to learn how to do some of that for ourselves. Self-love, self-trust, appreciation, confidence. All of that starts with building that relationship with ourselves and creating that foundation of all of those things so that we are able to generate that for ourselves, right? And we're not looking externally for that. And part of that is being honest with ourselves about what we want and what we don't want, and generating that courage and that safety for ourselves to explain it and to say it out loud and allow for those emotions. Because if we don't know how to be with that discomfort, that fear, whatever comes up, then that's when we really run into problems, and we go back to whatever behavior it is that we don't want to do.
Right. What does self-connection, so we want to understand self-connection, because I think that's kind of where you're going with this. We have to be aware. So and I think, maybe correct me if I'm wrong in equating self-connection to self-awareness, but what does that mean in the first clarify that and what it means in the context of business?
So it really is, first of all, when I say building that relationship, right? Like that's the self-connection. It can be as basic as, first of all, yes, knowing that you are 100% worthy. It can be ending the negative self-talk, the judgment, the beating yourself up, the criticism, ending that, right? That's how you start to build that self-love and that self-trust, right? Because you need that for any kind of connection. If you're talking to somebody and beating them up and verbally and criticizing them and whatnot, what's your connection going to be? You're not going to have that intimacy. You're not going to have that self-trust. So starting to change that, becoming aware of the story that you tell about yourself and what you're capable of, right? If you say, I'm no good, I can't learn this, I was never able to do this, I'm not that type of person, again, that's what you're reinforcing, and that's what you're creating more of in your brain. So you want to get really clear and be conscious of how, not just how you're talking to yourself, but how you're thinking about yourself and the story that you're telling about yourself.
Right.
Self-love is going to come from thinking loving thoughts about yourself, which I know sounds simple, but is easier said than done. But really, you do want to be conscious of how you're thinking about yourself and what you say to yourself, and thinking loving thoughts the same way you would with a partner or your children or another family member, your parents, thinking loving thoughts about them. You need to afford that to yourself. And then
Right.
building self-trust, right? Doing what you say you're going to do. And so that you slowly say, if I'm going to go to the gym tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. and learning that, how to get yourself out the door at 8 a.m. to go to the gym. And again, that comes back to learning how to manage your mind, understanding what's going on with your primitive part of your brain, and using your prefrontal cortex to override that and manage it. And then learning how to be and allow with your emotions so that any of the fear, any of the doubt, any of the overwhelm, any of the guilt, whatever it is, you can allow it and process it through and not let it stop you, right? So often we're letting fear stop us, whatever it is, stop us in our tracks because we think something has gone wrong.
Mhm.
Or we're drinking a bottle of wine, or we're shopping online, or we're watching 10 hours of Netflix instead of allowing and feeling whatever the emotion is that's there for us. And then finally, I would say the last piece of the puzzle is being really intentional about what we're thinking and what feeling we want to create for ourselves. Because again, if we're not doing that consciously and intentionally, then we're just reacting to our external circumstances, and we're being managed by that primitive part of our brain. And so we can be really focused and create that connection with ourselves intentionally. It takes work. It's not one and done. It's not something that just happens overnight, but little by little, you're taking these steps in order to consciously create this relationship with yourself. It's the same as any other relationship. It doesn't happen overnight. It has to be maintained, grow. You build that intimacy with yourself.
Right. I love that. And it's so important that we do that inner work, because like you said, it sounds easy,
Mm,
but yeah, it's really, you have to put this into practice on a daily basis, on a regular basis, sharing with yourself words of affirmation that will strengthen you and give you the confidence that's needed to be a business owner or to do all the things that you have to do in life. And watching how you think about things, so incredibly important. That is, I say all the time to my family, to my friends, I'm so intentional about what comes into my eyes and what goes into my ears, and what I allow into my spirit, because it is all so impactful. And if there's all this negativity going on around me, or some craziness on the television trying to come into my eyes, or something's weird on the radio saying strange things that don't build me up or give me confidence or increase my belief in myself, or tries to demean me or how I might look at myself or things like that, cut them off. I like literally cut them off.
yeah.
And it drives my husband a little bit crazy because I don't watch the news. And he's like, you need to know what's going on. I'm like, it's the same thing, different day. It's all bad. I'm sure if I need to know something, you'll let me know. I'm
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. It's true.
And I shouldn't say it's all bad, because there are some great things going on in the world and people are doing some good things. But it's on the television on repeat, like all day long. And I'm just like, how on earth are you continuing to put this into your body?
Absolutely. It is. It's very stressful. And that's what it's designed to do, right? To grab our attention and to pull us in, and it does that very well. So I agree.
Yeah.
It can be very stressful. It's not healthy to be having that input all the time. Absolutely.
Right, exactly. We have to be intentional about speaking life.
Yeah.
Speak life. I even have a t-shirt that says speak life.
Nice.
Toby Mac wrote a song about it. Speak life. And when you speak life, not just to others, but to yourself as well, you are doing what is necessary to lay that foundation for having courage to set those boundaries, like within business or within your personal life or whatever,
Mhm.
so that you can take care of yourself and be your absolute best at all times. And when you are filling your mind with positivity and things that you can do, that you are capable of, your gifts and your skills and your talents, and how nobody else has these gifts like you do. Nobody can do what you do the way you do because only you've been gifted with these things. Saying those things over and over again, and how valued you are and how worthy you are and how you deserve great things to happen in your life, and you deserve to have a successful business, and you deserve to have great relationships, and all these things. Having to, when you repeat these things over and over again, at first it seems like mechanical, like they're just words out here for somebody else.
Mhm.
But then when you internalize them and make them personal, it seems less mechanical, and then eventually starts to feel like it's real and like it could be actually for you. Does that make
Mhm.
sense?
It does. Yeah, absolutely. And it's a process, like you said. And what I sometimes recommend to my clients as well is, choose just a slightly better feeling thought, right? So
Mm,
you don't need to go to the rainbows and the daisies and try and believe something that is really sort of pie in the sky, but adding a modifier like it's possible that I'm 100% worthy, or
mm,
other people are worthy, it's possible that I might be worthy too, or something, and just shifting a little bit so that it feels a little bit better and it's a little bit more believable, and you sort
mm.
of work your way to I'm 100% worthy and I believe that and that.
I
So
love
you can
that.
take it bit by bit, step by step if that helps.
Yeah, baby stepping to confidence. I love
Yes.
that.
Yeah.
Baby stepping away, baby stepping to
Yeah,
confidence.
yeah, just choose the next better feeling thought.
Yeah, I love that. And I never even thought to do that part. Maybe
Right,
it's possible I could be, you know, I was like,
right,
because I've been so accused of being all or nothing. It's like either I am
right.
or I'm not. You know?
Yeah, yeah.
And so to know that there's a progression that can be
Yes,
taken, holy camole, that's a whole,
yeah,
that opens up a whole new realm of possibilities.
indeed.
I love that. So, how would you say that the way we see ourselves impacts our business decisions?
Well, I mean, listen, if you don't see yourself, and it comes back to that trust and that confidence and that love for yourself, you're not going to be willing to take some of those risks, go for the next big thing. You'll be holding yourself back, you'll be playing small. And if you want to scale, if you want to increase revenue, if you want to reach more clients, we all have this sort of nudge in ourselves, right? To go for the next thing, to level up. But it can be scary. And again, that primitive part of our brain will come back and say, oh, I don't know. I don't think that's a good idea. But definitely, like if you're not trusting yourself and you're not willing to feel any emotion, right? Because when we take that risk, when we set that next big goal, when we go after and try and conquer that challenge, all of those emotions are going to come up. And so you really want to have an awareness of what's going on, how that primitive part of our brain is trying to warn us, how those emotions are going to be there. Like anytime you set another big goal, fear is going to be there, doubt's going to be there. Okay, doesn't mean anything has gone wrong. Can you process that emotion? And then what do you want to think intentionally and what do you want to feel in order to drive those actions and create that result? But if you can't do that, then you're going to, let your mind manage you. You'll be in the weeds. You'll be giving into that fear and that doubt. And then you'll be holding yourself back and playing small. That's it.
Wow. Wow. And we definitely don't want to play small. I mean, we didn't start
No,
a business to play small.
no, it's not
Right?
what we're here for.
That is not, those don't go together.
Right. Yes. Yes.
They just don't. I mean, if you want to be successful in business, see yourself as a successful business owner. You
Right.
have to see it in your mind's eye.
And that's daily work. Like that is daily
Yes.
work. You're never going to be one and done. It's like
Yeah.
clean it up, focus, be intentional every single day. Because I know for myself, if I'm not doing this, I can get away with a few days, maybe a week tops. But after that, I'm in the weeds. I'm like, this isn't working. I can't do this. I don't know, all the things. So you have to be intentional and really focused every day.
Yeah, absolutely. I met a lady named Ariel Fitzpatrick. She's a social media influencer, and she pretends in her skit, she pretends that she's God, and then she has an angel, so she's the angel, and then she's her own regular self, and she's always giving God a hard time.
Okay.
So, one of her skits, she says, "Give me your doubts," and she's God. "Give me your stupid doubts." And then she walks over to the trash can and she just dumps them in the trash can.
Nice.
And then she walks back away.
Yeah. I like it.
I love that. Listening to you talk about just getting rid of those doubts. It's daily work, but it is so worth it. It is absolutely 100% worth it. Just trash those stupid doubts.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then what advice would you give then to somebody who's afraid to make bold decisions? We already talked about leveling up, seeing ourselves successful, but what if we're afraid? What if we're just terrified of what that looks like?
Right. So again, I want to go back to know that nothing has gone wrong. This is a part of our human experience. So there's nothing wrong with you. Nothing has gone wrong. That fear is normal. Like there's a reason for it, but it doesn't mean stop. Right? So you're perfectly normal, you're perfectly human, but it's okay. You're safe. It doesn't mean stop.
Right.
And allow that fear. If you can process it, just sit with it for 5 minutes. It's almost like a meditation. Like drop into your body, breathe into it, locate maybe where it is in your body. Like if it's in your chest, let's say, sit with it, breathe into it, and just allow it to be there. There's nothing else you need to do. Bring your mind, focus, breathe, and give yourself just a few minutes for it to it almost like it dissipates, it moves through you, because an emotion is just a vibration in your body. And so it stays with us when we're reacting or we're resisting, trying to push it away. But if we can just allow it, it will start to unwind. It will start to dissipate. Right?
And absolutely. And I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, so then once you have that, right, and you've calmed your nervous system down and you're not in the grips of this fear, then you can decide, okay, what's really true here? What's the drama that my brain is adding? Because our brain likes to add a lot of drama. And is it helpful? And if it's not helpful, what do you want to think and feel instead? It's a very intentional process, but have that awareness of what's going on. Know that it's okay, then know that it's normal. Nothing has gone wrong. Allow it and process it. Look for the facts. What's the drama? What's the facts? What's helpful? What's not? And then what do you want to think and feel instead? And then take the next step.
I love that. That's so good. I actually, listening to you talk about feeling the fear and doing it anyway, kind of took me back to my own similar experience at Executive Help Now. We just went through a process of expanding our team as part of our strategic growth plan for 2025. And it's something we had never done before, because our team had just kind of grown organically, but we were intentional about doubling the size of our team,
Wow.
which we did like within a week.
Wow.
And it was such a scary thing for me that the morning of the interviews that we were having, there were panel interviews, I was so scared. I was shaking. I was bawling, crying.
Wow.
I was so afraid. You know how you get so scared you start crying?
Yeah.
I was that scared. But I knew it was something I was supposed to do. I knew it was
Nice.
supposed to happen. And so I'm a woman of faith. So I prayed. And I was like,
Yeah.
Lord, give me your peace. Give me your comfort. Give me your strength. Give me your wisdom. Give me your discernment to bring on all the right people onto this team and to work with this panel of interviewers to see things in people that, we're supposed to see. So we know who to bring and who not and all the things. And I'm just praying. And then fortunately, it was on a Monday morning, I believe, and it was right before a prayer call that I'm on at 9:00. And I was like, y'all, I need y'all to pray. And so anyways, it turned out to be one of the most challenging, most scariest, most stressful, most rewarding days of my entire entrepreneurial journey.
Wow.
And I was afterwards, once I received the comfort and the peace and all of that, and we were able to get through the day, it was just so memorable and such a fantastic experience that not just for myself, but for everyone who was involved. It was just so wonderful. But I say all that to say, when you are feeling this fear, I love all your advice of processing it, getting through it, sitting with it, allowing it, all those things, so important. But for me, I couldn't forget prayer. That truly worked for me. And it was wonderful. So we miss out on amazing opportunities if we don't allow ourselves to participate in these scary things.
Yeah, absolutely. The fear is always going to be there when you want to go to that next level.
Yes.
Yeah, it's important.
Yes. I'm a witness.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So Trista, so thank you for that advice, for helping us to overcome that fear, for helping us to know what to do with it, and expect it. Expect that when you're getting ready to go to the next level, it's going to be scary. Be prepared to be afraid.
Right. And nothing's gone wrong. You're right on track.
That's right. Nothing's gone wrong. You're right on track. So this has been so wonderful, Trista. So encouraging. I just feel so full, like validated. Even though I know I shouldn't look for external validations, I know. But I'm just saying, you're good. How can people stay in touch with you and reconnect with you after the show so that they can continue getting this wise counsel and support?
Oh, well, thank you. Yes, I would love to see everybody and continue to help people. So I do have my website. So that's
beautiful.
TristaGuertin.com.
I love that. Was it on vacation?
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Thank you. And then I also have a website I have a podcast. So I have a website for my podcast, which is thisdaringadventure.com. So the podcast is a great resource for people if they want to learn more of some of these concepts and tools. And it's also available on all the major streaming platforms. So you can find me there. And then I'm also very active on Instagram. So I am Trista V. Guertin there. And that's a great place to find more information and more resources.
Nice. I love it. A great post on Instagram. So calming. Every post is like, this makes me so relaxed. I love that. Good. So good. So as we wrap up, Trista, first on LinkedIn, definitely reach out, Guertin Coaching. We want to find you on all the socials. Definitely follow you, subscribe to your podcast, all of the things. Definitely, definitely, definitely. As we get ready to wrap up, is there any question that I should have asked you that I didn't?
Ooh, that's a good question. I don't know. I think we've covered so much. And I guess one of the things that I really want people to understand here is how much we are affect at our brain from our brain, in that we will land up thinking 60,000 thoughts per day. Most of them are the same ones from yesterday and the day before that and the day before that. So if you want to make changes, if you want to go to that next level, you want to evolve or get unstuck, it really comes down to what you're thinking, because it's your current thinking that got you here. And so just having that awareness, taking a few minutes to write some of that down, just having that can start to shift. Becoming conscious of the story that you're telling yourself can be really powerful. But listen to yourself, be kind, have that compassion, but really think about what you're thinking and what it's creating for yourself. And that's key. If I could leave everybody with the most powerful advice I can give.
Good. Think about what you're thinking. Love that. Trista, you were made for something great. So go and be awesome.